Beverly. Thank you, sweetheart. I'd like to say I'm speechless and I'm done, but I'm going to do my very best. It's unbelievable. I just have to take a minute and take a look at everybody here. What a night. I actually think it's an out-of-body experience, to be honest with you. To begin, I want to thank and acknowledge JVS Human Services. Since 1941, JVS has been helping people overcome life's challenges, and the Women to Work program is a fine example of this very important mission. The Women to Work program, as we've heard, helps women enter or re-enter the workforce after experiencing a significant life-changing event by providing individualized coaching, counseling, and placement services. Since its formation, women of all backgrounds have been assisted in finding their path in life to achieve success. Thank you, JVS, for your unwavering support of women who are in need of reinventing themselves. To the people of the JVS Women to Work program and the people here tonight who have taken those first courageous steps, and to the good people of JVS, thank you for inviting me. I am thrilled and honored to be here. And hopeful the support from tonight will help JVS continue their mission of improving people's lives. So why am I here tonight? Obviously, to support JVS. Wait, I think I like the black glasses. I just saw myself. Okay, this is me. To be candid, in the beginning, I wasn't sure. When I was asked to speak, I said no. And I said no several times. You see, I didn't think I had a story worthy telling. And I really don't enjoy being in the spotlight. I've never been a look at me, I'm Sandra D kind of person. But look where I'm at and my face on all of those pamphlets. I'm here standing in front of all of you tonight. Over the many years I've been attending this event, I've heard countless touching stories. So when I finally agreed, I realized I didn't have just one story. I have so many. And all of these stories have created my world. Like everyone in this room, we all have stories. The challenge is, how do I share an entire lifetime of experiences and some of my personal trade secrets that I've developed over the 3 decades of business and the time that I've been allotted tonight. So let's start at the beginning. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, to 2 loving and adoring parents. I was sandwiched between 2 brothers and grew up around 7 male cousins. My father came from a male-centric family, and in the beginning, quite honestly, I think he was pretty unsure of how to raise a little girl. Thankfully, this male family dynamic was balanced by my grandmother and my mother, who both taught me unconditional love, something I take with me and I hope share every day of my life. My father and I connected through sports, and as it turns out, I was a natural athlete with a special gift in golf. My dad loved golf, and he used golf to teach his children lessons in life. It was on the golf course that I learned my very first real life lesson. But at 10 years of age, I wasn't old enough to appreciate the significance of that moment. So here's the story quickly. I was 10 years old, and of course the only female and mostly the youngest player in a junior championship tournament. On the last hole, I was waiting for my turn to putt, when the father of one of the boys, who was a friend of my dad's, came up behind me and whispered in my ear, "Little girls don't beat boys." At that moment, I had to determine whether I was going to sink the putt and maybe win, or deliberately miss the putt because little girls don't beat boys. After my 10-year-old self processed the situation, I went on to sink the putt, and I did win the tournament. Here we go. But the win, and what I realized later from that experience, is that I had the courage not to compromise who I was or who I am. So early in life, I learned you always have to be true to yourself. Besides golf, my dad's only other expectation was that I would get married and eventually start a family. I got married at 23 and divorced 6 years later. During the same time period, and while I was managing an OBGYN office, I was also experiencing neurological and muscular weakness. I submitted to countless tests for over 2 years, but my condition continued to be misdiagnosed, leading me to being temporarily paralyzed from the waist down. It was then that they discovered that a disc in my neck was pinching my spinal cord, and of course it led to emergency surgery. While the surgery was successful, the recovery took a long time, and I found myself unemployed, divorced, no financial independence, and terrified of the uncertainty of my future. But I had this idea. As I was working in the OBGYN office, I realized my patients did not understand the health insurance benefits their employers had purchased for them. I was spending the majority of my time counseling people on how their benefits were supposed to help them. My idea was to create a business to help educate employees on their health insurance benefits. This leads me to an important trade secret. Have the courage to follow your passion. With multiple detractors and no formal business plan or a financial backing, I set up an office in my one-bedroom apartment, using my dining room table as a desk, Post-it notes on my walls, I called it my Wolodex, and a copying machine in my little kitchen. I got to work. After nearly a year, I was busy enough to recruit my two dear girlfriends, Carol Satofsky and Carol Cohn, who have been by my side ever since and have continued to help me stay grounded. At the start, I was told I would not be successful in the male-dominated healthcare industry, and it would be impossible for me to monetize this service as a business. But I proceeded anyway, because I believed in my idea. And if you follow your heart, you never know where it might lead you. Now, 32 years later, EHIM has grown from a one-bedroom apartment to a nationally recognized company, servicing millions of lives, operating in all 50 states, employing close to 200 employees, and being one of the top women-owned businesses in the country. In fact, I was the first and only woman to develop a national pharmacy benefit management company, which leads me to another trade secret. Don't be afraid to challenge. The largest division of EHIM began with a simple question: why? I was meeting with a potential client reviewing their health benefits. As I looked at the renewal in more detail, I discovered that the carrier's only solution to cutting costs was to reduce quality to their employees. Concerned, the client asked me if I had an alternative option. Of course, I replied yes. Just self-insure your employees' prescriptions. Client said, that's great. What a great idea. Send us the documents and tell us whatever we need to do and we'll sign. After walking out of the meeting, I realized I just sold a product I had not yet built. Hand to God. I had no documents for them to sign, let alone a product to speak of. I quickly realized I needed a pharmacy for my clients' employees to go to. So I started building a pharmacy network from scratch, with Perry drugstores being the first pharmacy to accept and participate in our network. Today, EHIM owns a national pharmacy network, which consists of over 64,000 participating pharmacies. And I've signed every contract. In short, I got a product off the ground, and after the first year, I saved this client over 60% from their prior year's pharmacy cost. I didn't know at the time, but this was the birth of EHIM's PBM division. From all those humble beginnings, EHIM has continued to grow. We have built our own technology systems, creating a customer-first culture, and most importantly, challenged ourselves and the industry by always answering the why not questions. Today, we're recognized as one of the top privately held PBMs. I often remind my staff, we were managing pharmacy benefits before it was fashionable. In fact, one of the greatest validations of success for me is seeing how our competitors imitate and borrow the ideas that EHIM pioneered long before they have become common practice in our industry today. Another trade secret, of course, is to give back, and not just in a financial way. Every entrepreneur will hear a very similar chorus of negativity. You dream too big. You haven't thought this through. This won't work, or simply nobody's gonna buy it. Amongst all those naysayers, I have had very important mentors who supported my vision and assisted me along the way. Fortunately, I was smart enough to ask the question, but most importantly, I listened to the answers, because you can't know everything, but you can learn anything. As I look back on the early years, EHIM would not be where it is today if it were not for some very important people who helped shape me, my thoughts, and in turn, my future. So that's why today is so important for me to give back and to provide others with the same support, advice, and counsel that help contribute to the success of EHIM and the person I am today. So as you establish yourself, be sure to mentor others along the way. Do not underestimate the power of your journey and how it can motivate and inspire others. To my EHIM family, every night when I head home from my office, I look up at our lights, at our name and lights, and it takes my breath away. I take a moment to thank you all for your hard work, dedication, and most importantly, believing in me and what EHIM stands for. I realize that decisions I make affect your lives and the lives of the people you love. There are some other people here tonight that I would like to take a moment to acknowledge. My mom, who consistently encouraged me and always told me I can do anything I want to do and be anyone I want to be. Like every day, because we needed that in our family. She is here tonight. 91 and sharp as can be. God bless you. And she is my best friend. She has always given me the love and support I needed, even when I didn't know I needed it. Mom, you are my heart. To my Howie, who's been at my side on this journey for the last 20 years, as well as his family, which has become an extension of mine and has made a beautiful impact in my life. My family, my brothers, my sisters-in-law, who are my sisters, my nieces, my nephew, my nephews, my great-nieces and nephews, my cousin, who flew in here from Aspen to be here with us. They are all my love and my world. I'm not sure where I would be without you all and the unconditional love we have for each other. And my friends who stood by me and supported me and encouraged me from the very beginning and have allowed your family and your children to be my family. I love them as my own, and you guys know that. You've all helped me to be the daughter, the mom, the aunt, the tanti nana, the mentor and more, and a mentor and more. They are all truly my family out of love. I would never have gotten this far without all of you, and I know it. And I thank you all, and I thank you all for your support. To everyone in this room, I encourage you to never let fear stop you. I promise. I was scared too, and I have been many times throughout the last 32 years. But I want to leave you with this one last piece of advice that was given to me by my father, and it applies to anyone who finds themselves stuck in a difficult situation, no matter what stage of life you're in. If you don't take a step, either forward or backwards, you will never, ever move. Thank you all. Thank you.